Hi everyone, this is Kalyan Kumar this side and welcome back to Chemistry Universe. This is video number 9 and this is Cannizzaro reaction. Now in the previous video we did aldol condensation and this is Cannizzaro reaction. And one of the key differences between these two, even though they seem to be different reactions by themselves, but one of the key differences and similarities is that here also two molecules of an aldehyde would react. And there also we saw that aldehydes, ketones, they react to two molecules. Now in Cannizzaro, you will only have aldehydes reacting. That is the first difference. And secondly, they must not have alpha hydrogen. Because the reagents that we're going to put in this are going to be very similar to the ones that we put in aldol condensation. So if they do have alpha hydrogen, then they would tend to do aldol condensation. So here we are going to focus on aldehydes without alpha hydrogen. So let's get on with the video. Okay, so here we go. This is part 9, chemical properties, Cannizzaro reaction. Now those aldehydes, aliphatic or aromatic, which do not have alpha hydrogen on treatment with strong base undergoes a reaction involving its two moles, one getting oxidized to yield acid salt and the other getting reduced to primary alcohol. So here what happens is you have two molecules of an aldehyde reacting and one molecule will undergo oxidation. Now what do you think is the oxidation product of an aldehyde? It will be an acid. So the one that is getting oxidized, it will not get oxidized to acid, it is going to get oxidized to acid salt. And you'll see that in a short while why so. And the other one gets reduced because remember when there is oxidation there has to be reduction. So one molecule gets oxidized to acid salt and the other gets reduced. Now what do you think an aldehyde would get reduced to? Now of course it can get reduced to hydrocarbon also, but here the aldehyde is getting reduced to an alcohol. So one molecule of an aldehyde is becoming an acid salt and the other molecule is getting reduced to an alcohol. And the aldehyde could be an aliphatic aldehyde or aromatic aldehyde without alpha hydrogen. Okay. This is a disproportionation reaction as one molecule gets oxidized and the other gets reduced. Now, so we know that when the same molecule gets oxidized, one molecule of the same compound gets oxidized and the other molecule gets reduced, it's called a disproportionation reaction. It is a redox reaction, but since the same molecule is involved in both reduction and oxidation, we call it a disproportionation reaction. So let's look at the reaction. Let's start with formaldehyde, doesn't have an alpha H. And here we're going to put concentrated hydroxide. Remember in aldol also we put hydroxide and then we heat. There also we did. And one aldehyde will become the salt or the ion and the other would become the alcohol. So let's see the mechanism. Now the first step would involve that this aldehyde is attacked by the hydroxide as a nucleophile. Now since it doesn't have an alpha H, there is no other role for OH minus but to act as a base. And moreover, you put a concentrated amount, so its tendency to act as a nucleophile is anyway great. So instead of behaving as a base, which it can't, it is going to behave as a nucleophile here. Alright, so this base attacks this carbonyl carbon, pi bond shifts to O, and you get something like this. So what is this? This is called a hydroxy alkoxide. Now in step 2, this hydroxy alkoxide reacts with another molecule of aldehyde and look what happens. Now this is really interesting because what happens is the O minus comes back, an extremely poor group which is H will leave as H minus, but it doesn't actually leave as H minus, it immediately attacks this carbonyl carbon and the pi bond shifts to O and you find this becoming the acid. And this is what you get, methoxide. So this is formic acid, this is methoxide. Now here it is very cumbersome to understand how can H minus leave. When OH is there, wouldn't OH minus leave? Well, if OH minus were to leave, then the first step would be reversible, which it is anyway. So if OH minus goes out, then there is no reaction. So that will anyway happen. But there is a tendency for the H also to leave with a pair of electrons. And remember, I do accept H minus is a very bad leaving group. But remember, I've told this many times before that whenever H minus leaves ever, we discussed this in the reaction of Grignard's reagent with aldehyde and even during carbocation rearrangement. I said H minus never leaves. It will only leave when it can attack instantly. So it's always a one-step process. It doesn't leave and then attack. It leaves and attacks simultaneously. And there is another molecule of an aldehyde present whose carbonyl carbon is electrophilic. So this H minus leaves and simultaneously attacks with a carbonyl carbon. So step 3, you have the formic acid, which is a strong acid. You have a methoxide. And of course, when I say strong acid, it's all relative. Strong acid, and you have methoxide, which is an extremely strong base. And they will exchange proton, intramolecular proton transfer. And you'll get the formate ion and you'll get methanol. And the second step, as you can see, is the RDS. Because H minus leaving is pretty difficult. Therefore, the molecule on which the OH minus attacks first will be the hydride donor. As you can see from the mechanism, it is very apparent that the one which gave the hydride ion is the one that is getting oxidized. So that is the one which became the formate ion, if you remember. And that was also the one in which the hydroxide attacked. So the molecule in which the hydroxide attacks is the one that will give the hydride. And the one which gives the hydride is the one that is going to get oxidized. Now, obviously, the other one is going to get reduced. So this molecule eventually gets oxidized. And the molecule on which the hydroxide does not attack gets attacked by the hydride and is reduced, the other one. So I want you to figure this out on your own. And pause the video, write the product, and then see the video back. So obviously benzaldehyde, no alpha H, Cannizzaro reaction. One will become benzoate ion and the other will become benzyl alcohol. You need to remember the common names is pretty important. Now, if you look at the RDS, let's go back and see the mechanism once again, and you will notice something here. The second step is the RDS. Can you see it involves two molecules of the reactant? It involves one molecule here, one molecule here. Now, this is anyway the reactant, but this is the intermediate, right? So remember, whenever we write the rate law, we must always ensure that we write everything in terms of only the reactants and not intermediates. So the kinetics goes like this. The Cannizzaro is a bimolecular reaction as the RDS contains two molecules. And the rate would be the hydroxy alkoxide, the intermediate, and the aldehyde. Aldehyde is written in red so that you can see it's a reactant, and the black one is the intermediate. But you also know from the first step, if you look at the first step again, if you look at the first step, the hydroxy alkoxide ion is in equilibrium with OH minus and aldehyde. So this would mean that hydroxy alkoxide ion upon aldehyde and hydroxide would be the K equilibrium constant of reaction 1. Can you understand that? It will be the K equilibrium constant of reaction 1. And then from here, the hydroxy alkoxide ion becomes K equilibrium into K into aldehyde and base. And then the rate, I substitute the hydroxy alkoxide ion, I get this. And you can clearly see it's a third order reaction. Order is always calculated with respect to the reactants. Now, self-Cannizzaro, that means the same molecule getting oxidized or reduced, is a disproportionation reaction. While the cross-Cannizzaro, if I have two different aldehydes, would be a simple redox reaction, one getting oxidized, the other getting reduced. Now, here comes an important deal. How do we know if you take two different aldehydes, both not having alpha H, how do we know which is going to get oxidized and which is going to get reduced? That's the key thing here. So the best way to answer this question is that if you find that there is a big difference in the steric hindrance between the two aldehydes, then the one that is less hindered is the one that hydroxide ion will attack in the first step. So you have aldehyde 1, you have aldehyde 2. Aldehyde 1 is less hindered, aldehyde 2 is relatively highly hindered. So aldehyde 1 is the one where hydroxide will attack in the first step, which means that will be the hydride donor, which means that is the one that is going to get oxidized. So the less hindered one gets oxidized. And obviously the other one gets reduced. Now, if the hindrance is not that great, or the difference of hindrance is not that great, not hindrance, difference in hindrance is not that great, then the one which can give the H minus easily, that means the one which has releasing groups in it, it can give the H minus easily. And the one that can give the H minus easily is the one that is going to get oxidized. So if you have aldehyde 1, aldehyde 2, difference in steric hindrance is not much, OH minus can attack either of them, then the one which can give the hydride ion easily is the one that will get oxidized and the other one will get reduced. All right. So in cross Cannizzaro, if steric hindrance is different between the two aldehydes, then the one which has less steric hindrance will be attacked by the hydroxide ion. This means the less sterically hindered aldehyde will be oxidized and the other one will be reduced. Say for example, I have formaldehyde and I have benzaldehyde and I put OH minus. Remember, now I don't have to put concentrated or heat because we know there is no alpha H. Cannizzaro is the only play here. Now, can you decide which is going to get oxidized and which is going to get reduced? So pause the video, make the product and then play it back. So here is the answer. As you can see, formaldehyde is less hindered, benzaldehyde is relatively hindered, and therefore hydroxide will attack the formaldehyde. That is the one that is going to get oxidized. You get formate ion and you get benzyl alcohol. Of course, you will also get Cannizzaro between formaldehyde molecules, Cannizzaro between benzaldehyde molecules. But whenever two different aldehydes are written, we'll always make the cross product. Now, if the steric hindrance between the two aldehydes is not very different, then the one which has releasing groups tends to donate the hydride ion easily and is therefore oxidized. This is what I was talking about. So if you look at this one, benzaldehyde versus ortho-methoxybenzaldehyde, and you have OH minus. Now, which is releasing group? OMe. So I want you to pause the video, make the product, and then play it back. So here is the answer. So OMe is the one that is having releasing group that will get oxidized. So benzaldehyde will get reduced, and this is what you get. Try this one. Pause the video now. Here is the answer. The second one has withdrawing groups. So that is not going to give the hydride easily. The first one will give the hydride. So that will get oxidized. The second one gets reduced. All right, how about this one? Pause the video. Now, obviously, the para-methoxy is going to be more releasing because the plus M will only happen when it is para. I mean, the plus M will be significant only in para. So that is the hydride donor. So the para one gets oxidized, the meta one gets reduced. How about this one? Now remember, this itself has two aldehydes in it. So pause the video now. And this is called glyoxal. All right, here's the answer. One of the aldehyde gets oxidized, the other gets reduced. It doesn't matter which one, they're the same type. So one gets oxidized, the other gets reduced. If you're not able to make this product, go back to the mechanism, see every step, and then you will be able to do this. And this is, of course, intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. So take one more example. Now, this one is pretty simple. Pause the video. As you can see, only one of them is an aldehyde. So that is the one that is going to get the hydroxide attack and the hydride donor. So the right one gets oxidized, the left one gets reduced. Okay, how about this one? Again, it's going to be intramolecular. Make the product and pause the video first. Make the product and then play it back. Here is the answer. any one of them gets oxidized and any one of them gets reduced. They're of the same type. But that changes when you have a group here. Pause the video. Here is the answer. Obviously, the orthomethoxy is the one that is going to get oxidized because the plus M is useful only at ortho. So the orthomethoxy, the aldehyde ortho to methoxy will get oxidized, the other one gets reduced. All right, how about this one? Pause the video, make the product. Now, obviously, the hydroxide will anyway react with the acid and form an acid salt, but there's an aldehyde also. So one molecule gets oxidized. Remember, acid by itself cannot do Cannizzaro because it's directly going to react with OH minus to form the salt. The aldehyde will. So one molecule of the aldehyde will get oxidized. So both of them will become acid ion. And in the other case, it will get reduced. And the acid in both cases will be ion. Try this one. Pause the video. Here is the answer. Now this guy, despite having this alpha H, is only going to show Cannizzaro and not aldol. And why is it so? Because in aldol, when this becomes minus, remember it's going to become a hindered nucleophile. Hindered systems never act as good nucleophiles. So this shows Cannizzaro despite having alpha H. So despite having alpha H, this aldehyde shows Cannizzaro instead of aldol, as the nucleophile produced in aldol is hindered. Try this. And this is going to be fun. Pause the video and then make the product. All right, here is how you do it. Now remember, there are 4 aldehydes and there is one acetaldehyde. Now obviously this has alpha H, right? So if it is having alpha H, meaning it will do aldol. So the carbanion is formed here. It will attack the formaldehyde. So 3H, 3 alpha H, and therefore it requires 3 formaldehyde to do aldol. So let me just erase a few of these lines and then explain to you what actually happens. Okay. So this is what happens. You get the first carbanion. I'm doing aldol now. And there is this formaldehyde. So what do you think will happen? This goes here. This goes here. So you will have HCH. And remember, it will become O minus and then you add water, it will become OH. And this guy becomes CH2CHO. So basically, one formaldehyde has become CH2OH. Can you see that it's got 2 more H? And it's got, in fact, there were totally 4 formaldehydes. So I can use 2 more formaldehydes now. Meaning this carbon will get 3 CH2OH because of the 3 alpha H. These are all aldol. I hope you understand this. Now there is a 4th formaldehyde left. But now can you see that among these 2, there is no alpha H in either one of them and the OH minus is still there in the solution, which implies it's going to show Cannizzaro now. So when it shows Cannizzaro, obviously this is less hindered. This is the one that will get oxidized and this will get reduced. And remember this aldehyde getting reduced, this will also become CH2OH. That's what the CHO will become. So the product is this. Now I know I'm going a little bit fast here. I'm probably not explaining it very slowly, but I want you to figure this out on your own after watching this video. How did this happen? This is what you get. 4 CH2OH and there are 5 carbons. This is called pentaerythritol, often used in making explosives. So I just want to, I just give you an idea. Now go back and see the mechanism of aldol and remember there are 3 alpha H, so 3 times aldol. And then in the 4th one, you have a Cannizzaro. Just check that out. And that is the end of Cannizzaro reaction. So with that, we come to the end of this video. So this was part 9, Cannizzaro reaction. And I hope this video helped you in understanding what Cannizzaro reaction is, the intricacies involved, both self and cross. And with that, this is Kalyan Kumar signing off. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for watching this.